All right. Okay, welcome to class. So we're going to start standing. And what I want you to just think about as we start in our warm-up is your body in relationship to gravity. So clearly in this position, right, the gravity is pulling at our feet, everything is stacked up. We can see how gravity could cause like a little idea of compression, right, just the weight of it pulling us. And then we're going to do spinal mobility here. We're also going to go spinal mobility, hands and knees. So then think about how your spine is suspended out like a bridge. And then we'll work the spine. And then we're also going to flip over so that our backs are on the mat. And then think about how gravity pulls us that way. So hands and knees, it pulls us from the front. On our backs, it pulls us from the posterior. So we're going to do a whole spinal warm-up. And I just want you to kind of keep that in mind. Maybe you imagine, what if you could turn up the level of gravity and what that would feel like in your body. So right now, as you come to stand, just give yourself a little rock, and it's really just to find both feet into your surface, whether it's the mat or the floor. And then just come to stand where you're about a hip width apart, knees have softened. And while you're here for just a minute and feeling your feet on the floor, I want you to do just what I described. Could you imagine that gravity gets heavier and heavier and heavier? And when we do so, it's almost a feeling like we're shrinking a bit, right? There's a heaviness to all the bones in our body. Now, feeling that sense of strong gravity right under the feet, keep it there. But now can you start organizing yourself to imagine the crown of your head gets you taller and taller. It keeps reaching, and although that gravity force is so strong through your feet, you're organizing your muscles and your bones to get as tall as possible, not letting that influence your height. Funny enough, I wish you could see, my whole body is doing this weird vibrating thing because it's all on. So kind of think about that heavy gravity, and you're going to keep working to stay extremely tall through the crown of your head. Let's take one arm up, and we're just going to inhale, taking it to the side. Think about that heavy gravity, and do you need to work a little harder to keep this rib cage lifted so gravity doesn't pull you down? And then bringing yourself up. And let the other arm slide overhead. And again, just feeling, what would it feel like if gravity just wanted to pull you right over? Work with that. Create the shape and back up. So again, create the shape. Let that idea of that heaviness help you elongate through the side of your body. And back up. And then one more. And feel that rib cage reaching. And then coming all the way up. Take both arms out to the sides. Remember, knees are soft. So feel that heaviness through the feet. And now we're just going to twist our chest, our head, our eyes. Try to keep your hips to knee. And then come back to center. And going the other way. Chest, eyes. Ooh, try to look a little further. And back to center. Think about those eye exercises we've done. Rotate. Let your eyes look as far left as you can. Let them influence your rotation. And coming back in. One more, heading left. And look left as far as you can. Work those eye muscles. And come back to center. Take those arms up and overhead. And now dive down, flat back or rounded. And feel how gravity wants to pull you so quickly, but you're going to make it slow-mo so it doesn't get away from you. As you're here, take a breath in. Tuck your chin to your chest. And let your head just go side to side. Like you're saying no. And then coming to center. Now let your body move towards your right side. And stay there. Bring your body back to standing. Rounded spine or flat back. Arms will then go up and over, and we're going to dive down the other side. So as we head down our left side, take a breath in, chin to chest, and then peeling up. Think about how that gravity is trying to take you down, and you're going to work to draw your body back up. Up and over. One more time, down the first side. And then coming up Think of how gravity is pulling the crown of your head. Work for it. Oh, feels excellent. My back muscles. Up and over. Last one. Down we go. And then peeling yourself up. And shoulders roll back. Great. Let's take on those windmill arms. One hand behind your head, the other behind your back. Wide arms to switch. And wide arms to switch. So letting yourself reach open. Reach open. Really think of taking up some space in your room. I wonder if any of you heard that. That was the bird friend. Like over there fluttering, trying to get into class. One more each way. Once you're evened out, take those arms down by your sides. Excellent. Give me a big shake to one leg. Shake it out, shake it out. Try to let your thigh muscle just wiggle on the bone. It's hard to let that go. So used to like tighten it up, pull it in. How about let it go? Stand on it. Other leg, shake it out, wiggle it, shake it. Maybe you shake your foot. Maybe you rotate your thigh in and out. And then stand on it. Excellent. Let's take ourselves down to the mat. We're going to go hands and knees. All right, so coming to your hands and knees position, just take a glance down at those knees a minute and make sure that they're the width of your hips so that you're not feeling like you're too terribly wide. Both hands are right under the shoulders. And we're going to start with just the rock side to side. So we did this standing on our feet. Now here we are, hands and knees. And just feel the weight shifting. And can you start thinking about the idea of what would it look like if gravity was increased here? Find your way back to center. So follow along with me here. What if that gravity increase here took your forehead down? Now think of that increase helping you to engage your neck muscles to lift your head up and look forward as gravity is trying to pull us down, and then we let gravity take us. Think of pulling away like our head weighs so much more. And then bring it back to neutral. Let's take it to the spine. What if gravity pulled my belly down? And then I had to draw my navel up away from that. And then I let gravity win. And then pull the navel up away from that. One more time, letting gravity win. And then abs draw in, pull, 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 pull. Now, if you haven't already, let's add the head. So what we're going to do is belly drops, chest lifts, draw the belly up, the head draws down. And now we draw the head up, belly goes down. And then draw the belly up, head goes down. And then make your way to the center. Awesome. Can you turn your hands so that you're going the other way? Draw your fingers towards your knees and just give yourself a little rock side to side. So I'm just shining my forearms forward. So we're just getting a little stretch here through the wrists and forearms. Or I could be honest, I'm getting a giant stretch here. I can really, really, really feel that. I did some outdoor activities yesterday that I knew I would notice in my forearms. There's a lot of gripping type stuff. All right, bring those hands back in front of you. And then just come to sit on your bottom or up on your high knees for those of you who don't want to go on this knee flexion. And just give yourself those wrist circles here. So just a quick pit stop, letting those wrists move. And don't rush it. Like, try to find the fullest expression of the circle. And then go the other way. Maybe you kind of change it into a little figure 8 action. Just move those wrists in the biggest range possible, letting them actually get a bit warm. Okay, here we go, back to our hands and knees. All right, so moving forward into that spinal mobility work in a different direction, I want you to think of now that heavy gravity. It's right there again, so I've got to work so it doesn't pull me down. So I'm going to work to maintain it. I'm already shaking a little here. Now I want you to wag your tail toward me and then look over your shoulder as if you could take a peek over and see your tail or your head. And then go the other way. And you go side to side, but take it as far as you can. So don't start going too quickly in the wiggle where you're not ending up at the very end of the range. So now our spine is making a C shape. You're going to look. And you're going to look, and you're going to look. So here's this C shape. And I have to tell you, this C shape relates right to lizard, which we did on Tuesday. And we may, sorry for those of you with sore triceps, be doing lizard today. And then coming back to center. Awesome. One more. Pull those abs in. Look towards your tummy. Pull up, pull up, pull up. And then tailbone goes to the ceiling and chest lifts. Awesome. All right, widen those knees out and just rocking back and forth. What I love about this rock is you just go as deep as you want, right? So not everyone's gonna rock back the same distance. Some of you may rock your bottoms all the way down between your heels. Listen to your joints. Look at this as a little warm up for the hip area. Little assisted flexion here. 3, 2, and 1. Can you pick up your feet behind you and then bring your heels together to touch? Widen the heels, bring them together. Widen the heels, bring them together. Widen, tap, widen, tap, widen, tap. Widen, tap, 3, 2, 1. Heels together. Just take note, that's a little grasshopper leg. We're doing a lot of animals today. And then feet widen, set them down. Great, let's make our way to the back sides. All right, so here we are. Gravity is now underneath us again, but it's hitting at the spine from a different perspective, right? So press your arms down. This is where you can be real choppy, right? Get that karate chop real strong. And feet just about a fist width apart. So here we are thinking of that heavy sensation of gravity again. And I want you to start peeling your hips up, letting your body be faked out. If you look at my body is just bouncing. Because in my mind, gravity is 20 times stronger than it is. And my muscles are like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And they're just responding like the story I'm telling them. And then let yourself be pulled down. And so literally let it go quick. Boom. Peel up, whether it's one bone at a time or flat back. Think of working against that gravity, working against it, working against it, working against it, working against it, down heavily. Boom. One more time, coming up. Ooh. And then down heavily. Okay, where your feet are, I want you to start letting your feet feel lighter on the mat. Oh, you're immediately going to feel that you better get yourself on board here through your trunk muscles. Let your feet be heavy. Don't take them off the mat. Just let them be lighter on the mat. Let them be heavy. Let them be lighter. Let them be heavy. Let them be lighter. Can you start to feel what's happening in your trunk, where the strength would come from to lift your legs? Just stay with that. Now keep your feet light, but let one leg come to tabletop and then put it down. Keep it light. Bring the other leg to tabletop and put it down. Keep them light. Bring both of them to tabletop. Put them down. Keep them as light as you can. This is work. Keep them as light as you can. And then I want you to start thinking of lifting your spine off the mat. So you have to start negotiating. At some point, I have to push into the floor with my feet, but can I keep pushing with my arms and trying to do as much work as possible with my arms and my trunk, imagining my feet are trying to remain light. My body is bouncing at this idea. And then letting it take you down nice and slow this time. Ooh, and when you get your buttocks down, let your feet get as light as they can, still touching. Oh, woo, 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 woo. Ready? Push through your arms. Start thinking of lifting. So I've got to navigate now. I've got to push down with my feet a bit. Oh, and start lifting up my spine. Try to keep your feet with the idea that they could lift up lighter. And then letting your spine come down. I'll be interested to watch a replay of that. Hands will come behind your head. If you've ever done bridging on the chair, you know where that comes from. We put our feet on the chair and do bridging and try to lift the pedal. Oh my word. You just shake exactly like I just did. So in this position now, we're gonna let one foot get lighter on the mat and then the other. And then switch and switch. I want you to keep in mind, I'm not leaving the mat. I'm just letting my foot get as light as possible and feeling how that's shifting through my musculature side to side in my trunk. Now, the leg that I let get lighter, I'm gonna lift that opposite rib cage toward the ceiling, and then everything's heavy. So if I let my left foot get light, I'm gonna lift my right rib towards the ceiling. Shaking and down. Right foot light, but not lifted. Left rib cage and down. We're gonna speed it up. So thinking opposites, but we're only looking for a light foot and that rib cage to lift towards the ceiling. And lifts toward the ceiling. One, four more shaky curls. Last one, and down. Reach your arms behind you, press into your heels, and lift your buttocks out. I have my towel in there, and I kind of wish I didn't, but we won't be here too long if you're in the same predicament. And then bringing your spine down. If that's one bone at a time for you, please take it. Arms come down to the sides. And arms go out. Big stretch. Feel it in your chest. And then hips come up. Arms and hips go down. Arms go out and overhead. Hips come up. Arms and hips come down. One more. Out and around. Now from here, let one foot feel like it's getting lighter. I am going to move my towel. One foot getting a little lighter. Then the other foot. Notice what you're feeling is the opposite buttocks kicking in, right? So when one foot lifts lighter, the other butt cheek kicks in, and switch, switch, switch. Just that little weight change. Now take it into a march. Lift, woo, lift, lift. If you need your arms in a different location by your hips, take it, please. Lift, push down, lift up, push down, lift up. Push down, lift up. 4, 3, 2, oh, and 1, up, 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 and take the arms and hips down. Okay, I would love for you to come to a seated position. So if you want to roll to your side and push up, feel free. Now, if you have a towel handy, excellent. If you don't sweat it. Most of you were in Tuesday's class, and remember, we just kind of use this as a sense of a target. So we're going to walk this through, sometimes thinking of just getting your upper waistband to the mat behind you. Not everybody's going to lay their full spine down on the mat behind you. Okay? All right, so if you have it, you could use that as your little target. Okay, here we go, seated position. Give a little turn here. Okay. So seated position, legs are going to start slightly bent, and we're sitting up tall on our sits bones. I want you to take a breath in, think of getting taller against that gravity. And as you exhale, scoop your abs in and start walking your hands down, letting your waistband come towards the floor. We were here on Tuesday. Take a breath in, and then rocking back up. You see, this is the beginning to the roll down, yes? Rocking back. Now, if you know this is where you should head back up, you're going to do so. If you feel like you can continue to go back, looking to bring your whole lower back into the mat, then maybe feel the base of your shoulder blades, then the full shoulder blade, head to the floor, you're going to take it. So everyone's going to start moving in their own range. Either way, we start to come back to seated. Chin tucks. I start curling and curling and curling and sitting up. So again, if it's 2 vertebrae versus all of them, you're going to take it. Now place everybody's hands by their hips. Okay. Taking a breath in. As you exhale, begin to roll back or keep your straight back. Here's where we're going though. Watch, my elbows are bending, bending, bending until I get my elbows on the mat. We all end up right here. Didn't say it was easy to get there. Ready? Push your palms down and head up. Push into your hands. Come back up. Now you know your hands are in the right spot. Head back down. Get to your elbows. Whether it's round or flat back, get to your elbows. I don't know about yours, but mine aren't quite landing at the same time. Push into your hands. Press to lift up. Push, 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 to come up. I'm going to stay right here. If anybody's looking for more of a challenge, I'm going to add it on for you verbally. Round back. Get onto your elbows. Round or flat back, I should say. If you want more challenge, go tabletop legs. And when we come up, those of you on tabletop are going to straighten your legs. Therefore, you'll be in teaser at the top. Exhale, everybody's coming up. If your legs are in tabletop, start straightening them out. Find your teaser position. You can lift your arms off the floor even. And then everybody's going back to elbows. Stay here with elbows. Everybody to tabletop. Okay, go to those toe taps. So I want you to open your chest towards the ceiling. We're looking a bit upward and forward. So we're starting to work on some strengthening for those posterior neck muscles. Hope you're all as warm as I am. That got some heat going. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Your choice, tabletop legs or not. Push into the hands to come all the way up. Abs feel very awake. Is it a yes? I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag answer. Don't you worry. We're going to come back to it. Shocker, right? All right. I would love for you to roll onto your left side. And you're going to place your right hand in front of you, and you're going to slide all the way out. So I'm reaching through my fingertips and through my toes. And here it is. Okay, this hand, push it downward. This hand, push it downward. And now lift yourself up. Now we're starting to work strengthening of the lateral muscles of the neck. So on the sides, down we go, and push up. I heard from some of you that your triceps were a bit sore from some of these activities on Tuesday. Lift, and lower down. Legs are gonna come up this time too. So we lift, and lower. Last one, everything lifts, because we're gonna stay right here. Lift that top leg up and down. Notice how you can very much feel an active waist in this. It's not that we're laying in neutral, right? We're not straight. So really feel how you've got to keep your waistline active as well as the hip. Now keep pushing through that left hand. Could your right arm come up? It's a maybe. Take it or leave it. Woo-hoo-hoo. 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet together. Drop that right hand to the floor. Push into it firmly. Can you lift your left hand off? Left hand off. Left hand off. Keep yourself held in place by pushing into your right arm. Reach through your toes. 3, 2, and 1. Slide your way down. Yep, can feel that right there. Okay. So we're going to just bend this lower arm and put our hand under our head. So we have a little kickstand here. Arm is overhead, and we're going to go into lizard. So coming back to this, again, it's a tap and reach. Tap and reach. Tap and reach. Tap and reach. One more. Tap and reach. Straighten that bottom arm out. If that proves to be too much of a balance issue, please put it back into your kickstand position. Now, when we come in, we're going to look up at the leg and then down. Look up at it and down. So find a bit more into the waist and upper body. One more here. Make sure that bottom hand is turned down. Now, when you come up, I'm going to push into it. So now I'm off the floor with my rib cage. It's an option. And slide down. So either any of the 3, really 4, we went through. It's all about bringing an arm to the knee or thigh. You can lift up as high as you want, or you can keep your head down. We've got 3 to go. Woo! 2. And last one. And lower down. Ooh, bend those knees and just go into a big, luxurious circle, twisting that spine. Oh, I kind of wish we could have a little conversation about that right now. So that idea of that lizard, think about how we're moving against gravity. We're laying on our side. So gravity was pulling us downward through our left side. Just keep that in mind because we're going to mimic that shape playing with gravity soon. One more time around. Now just place your hand on the floor and you're going to push yourself up to a seated position. Okay, so here we are. Legs are over to one side. Take your hand to the floor for now. Alrighty, so we're going to pick those legs up and send them to the other side. Actually feels good on my butt muscle under there. Massage it a little bit. You don't have to continue to use your hands. You could eliminate hands and switch. And switch. If you need to keep your back a bit straighter, then putting the hand down is real nice. It kind of keeps some of the bend out and still gives you all the juicy, wonderful hip work. But if you don't need that, then just don't use those hands. Some of you will notice that putting your hand down also makes the knee aspects a little bit better. And can everybody now flex their feet? So you're gonna reach through your heels the entire time. Reach through your heels. Can I see your feet when you come across? Oh, show me your bottoms of your feet. Whoop. Show me the bottoms. Whoop. 3. I'm moving backwards. 2. 1 more. Now I'm going to get my feet to the left so I can lay down on my right side. All right, I'm on my hair. Okay, so I got to think back, get all the way to the top of my banana work here. So arm out straight, palm down, and hand in front. All right, so let's push in to lift up, pushing into both, and then back down. And then notice your right arm might slide in a little bit, right? And then slide out. I'm on my mat and it's still doing a pretty good job of sliding. Woo-hoo-hoo. That waistline is kicking in right away here. And up with the legs as well. And then back down. Upper body and legs. And back down. This time we're gonna stay. Upper body and legs. Up and down. Take that top leg. Now don't let this change what's happening from your hips up. Right? I just feel like I'm just hanging out here. You just have a little sip of coffee, no big deal. Take that arm up if possible. 3, 2, 1, and hand down and slide all the way down. Good, so now go ahead and bend this underarm. Hands in front. Make sure everyone's getting situated here. Good. I am literally, okay, hold on. I'm having the mental fuzz right now. Like, wait, where did we go on this one? And none of you are talking to me, so hold on. Renee, feel free to edit this portion out. It's bound to happen once in this amount of weeks. Because we did our banana lizard. It's right there on my cheat sheet. All right, arm overhead. So reaching your arm overhead, we're gonna work into lizard. You're gonna bring elbow to knee. And elbow to knee. Notice mine is more to thigh, right? But we're bringing those limbs together. 2 more. And the last one, straighten that arm out underneath you is an option. And now we bring them together. You could then start looking. So my lower arm, my elbow is staying on at this point. I'm lifting my head and rotating. Lifting my head and rotating. You want to make it bigger, push into the arm, come off of this rib cage, and then slide back down. So again, you've got 4 options here. And reach, touch, and reach, touch, and reach. 2 more, and reach, and reach. Great, bend those knees, and let's just go into a big pinwheel here. So circling yourself, nice spinal mobility movement here. Taking it in a whole different twisting than what lizard would do. And then hand will come in front of you and we'll push up to seated. I trust if I miss something, you'll forgive me. Okay, feet to the one side. Hand down, going right back into hip mobility. And this time, switch on using your hand again if needed. We're only going 4 here. We're gonna change where we're doing this from. Now keep your feet where they are. I'm gonna turn mine the other way just for how it's gonna work out here. Okay, keeping your feet where they're at, hands behind you, pick up the knees, put the knees on the other side. Pick up the knees to the other side. They're working like windshield wipers. Up and over, up and over. Flexing your feet is a really nice option for those who have interior knee things. Really focusing on the foot that's falling, or the knee that's falling in. in. Get that good stretch into the hips. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk those feet together. Okay, so we are going to transition into tummy time. So I do want you to think a bit about that lizard idea where we were on our sides, bringing an elbow to the same side knee, because we're going to bring that into play in tummy time. So make your way onto your bellies, however you need to set up to best see. I'm trying this side the same. All right, so when I get down into tummy time, I'll stay looking a bit at you so that you can hear me okay. You can put your forehead down. Your arms are going to be out to the sides like a shape of a cactus. So I have my elbows bent. If I were to show it this way, right, my arms are like so. And maybe I will just stay this way. So my arms are out to the sides. You may put your forehead down. And then what I want you to do is start to imagine yourself in lizard. So think this through. If you bend your right knee and bring it up towards you, can you then lift your forehead off the floor, lift your chest a bit, and now could I just pivot, sliding on the floor to bring my right elbow and my right knee toward each other or together. And then I slide my right leg back behind me and come to the middle. So pivot, bringing your left knee up towards your left arm, and then pivot back to center. I'm going from a different angle if you need the help. Here comes my limbs. Knee to elbow, and I look, and then back to center, knee to elbow. And coming in. So side to side we go. Be pretty handy on a wood floor. So this is tummy time lizard. Keep looking at that knee. Bring your head into the equation. One more to each side, and then find your way to the center, and you can lower your forehead back down. All right, widen those legs for me. Lift your feet up and touch your heels together. We were here once before. So now push your heels together like you're trying to hold something between them. And my knees stay wide. And I'm going to engage my buttocks to lift my thighs lighter off of the mat and then set my thighs down. Squeeze the heels, lift the thighs, and down. It's all about the butt work. Now, don't be surprised, right, if you're really feeling your pubic bone pressing down. Yeah, that would be normal, right? We're going to anchor into the pelvis and lift the thighs. You can always slide a towel under your pubic bone if you needed a little more cushion. Lift, lower, lift, lower. 4 more. Lift, lower, lift, lower. Last 2. Stay on the lift for me. Let your heels release so that your legs go wide and straight. Bend your knees so that your heels come back to touch. Let your legs unfold and they reach wide to the corners of the room. And then bend the knees, heels touch. We're going to speed it up. Open, touch, open, touch, open, touch. The lighter you keep your thighs on the mat, the more difficult this is. This is called grasshopper. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten those legs out, bring them together, and drop them down. I would like your arms to go back out to that cactus shape. We're going to go into a little different lizard. So now what I want you to do is actually push into the hands and elbows, lifting your chest up and your eyes gaze slightly forward. Now could you continue to press into the hands and straighten your arms? So I'm pretty wide, right, with my arms. Good. Remember, your hands could always walk out further in front of you if that was a better fit. Now I want you to get down to your elbows first. Don't let your chest collapse. And then push back up. So it's elbows down, elbows up. Elbows down, elbows up. Keep leading from your chest. You're trying to really lengthen out through your chest. 2 more. Last one, push. Elbows come down. Now walk your hands in and elbows in. So now my elbows are right under my shoulders. They're no longer wide. All right, so hands are down, chest is up. Now we're just gonna pull a knee forward and take a look at it. And then slide it back. Take the other knee in, look at it. Slide it back, keep going. Here you are back in lizard. Think about what's going on with your spine. You're in the C shape again. One more each way. Last one. And coming to center. You're going to push up and bring yourself onto your knees and hands. All right, tuck your toes under behind you. Exhale, gravity's heavy. Lifting those knees. And then walk your feet back to plank. Woo, there's a longer lever. And now you're gonna bring one knee forward, look at it, and put it back. Other knee forward, look at it, bring it back. Look at it, bring it back. You could stay where we were, right? One more right, one more left, and lower down, 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 down. That should have gotten you nice and warm. Hands are out, and let yourself glide up for a nice extension, pulling that sternum forward in the room. And then rounding yourself down. Press through the hands one more time. Chest reaches forward. So lengthen and look over your right shoulder. And then look over your left. And come back to center. And glide the spine back down. Excellent. I would love for you to roll over onto your backs. All right, so we're gonna start from the bottom. Legs are gonna be out straight. We worked on this as well on Tuesday, which was opening the toes, pinching those heels together. It's like grasshopper, right? So when I get in this position, my inner thighs are now facing the ceiling. So I'm not in parallel where my inner thighs face one another. I've turned out those toes and I'm pinching my heels together. And I want you to pinch them together where you actually feel your inner thighs working, right? There's work there if you're holding something between your heels. Arms are gonna go overhead here. Now on the exhale, start first lifting the head, bringing the chin towards the chest, let the arms come with you. And we're just gonna think of lifting toward the ceiling, pinch the heels, and back down. Lifting toward the ceiling with the chest, pinch the heels, keep them on the floor, and then back down. One more, chest is lifting up, eyes look down toward your toes, pinch your heels, stay right there. Now I want you to bring those arms a bit lower. And can you imagine that if I had your hands and you had to find abs to come up just one more vertebrae and then lower back down. Take a breath in and lowering down, exhale, float up. You're gonna see how many vertebrae you can lift, keeping your heels pinching, 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 and lowering down. Excellent, okay. You can stay right where you're at. I just want to point out to you, do you see that the emphasis is on your abs? So therefore, when you think of going further, the feeling you probably have is like, I'm not sure that's possible right here, because the conversation needs to now travel lower into your body, into your hip flexors. So there needs to be the conversation between your abs and what folds you at the hips. And Jane does a really cool, like little karate chop with the hips motion to kind of get that concept. If that doesn't feel really normal or like a conversation you've had a lot, please revisit that. So I'm gonna now talk you through it a little differently. When we're on our backs, arms behind you, Now draw your knees in and notice how you're starting to get that crease at the hips. Now draw your legs to tabletop. Okay, well now I have more of a crease at my hips, right? Okay, here we go. Heels together, toes a little open, and push those heels. Get those inner thighs working. So now what I want you to think about as you begin to lift your chest up, you're going to think of taking these bent legs and pushing them out and bringing them in when we go down. Your legs could come to the floor. So I'll do one if you need a visual. Exhale, I start to come up and I'm going to push my legs out. And as I go back down, I'm going to bring my legs in. And as I come up, I'm going to push them out. I do want to point out, this can be with a flat back. If you need that, if you don't, round the spine then. And push. You see now how your abs and the flexors at your hips are working as a team. And by bending and straightening our legs, we're giving our hip flexors a lot of responsibility. And we're kind of encouraging those two things to talk. Now, I want you to keep going, and this isn't going to necessarily be at my pace, so listen to your body. I would like you to imagine now that you're still going to bend and straighten, but could your heels start just flowing on the floor instead of being in tabletop? And I don't care if you stay in tabletop, right? So if you're like, I'm really doing well here and I like this, then stay, or try to glide those heels up and down on the floor, right? Or again, I'll do tabletop again if you need the visual, or I keep my legs down. And once you come to seated this next time, I would like you to stay. I really love that. How is everybody doing with that? Okay, I know this group that I can see very well to know how that would look in some of you if you didn't encourage that conversation between abs and hip flexors. Now, so we went from tabletop to trying to glide those heels, and if you did it, you could tell like, oh, that changes it a little bit. But these conversations are happening. So we're gonna go through it in tabletop, we're gonna go through it keeping the heels down, and then for our last thing, we're gonna see, could I just keep the legs straight and still mimic the feeling of what we're doing and slowly start not adding the momentum of the legs, okay? So all of those things you're familiar with. Come on your back. Arms are overhead. Bring a leg to tabletop and then the other. I'll go first in case you need the reminder again. I'm going to start curling up and I'm going to let my legs shoot out. And as I go back, I'm going to let my legs come in. So I'm going to continue here. I would like you to stay in this pattern as well. And you're just feeling how your abs lift you first and then your legs help bring you up. Abs start taking you down and then you invite your legs back in. So feel how it's abs and hips, abs and hips. Now, could you put your heels on the floor? Now my abs start taking me up. My legs still shoot out as I come up. My abs start taking me back and I slide my heels back to bent, right? I just lowered my tabletop, you could say. And then as I come up, I slide my heels out. And as I go down, I slide my heels in. One more if you're here. Tabletop is great if you wanted to sit. Up you come, shoot the legs out. Now all this is nice and warmed up. I'm now going to keep my legs there. Start heading back. Now you just feel your heels glide on the mat a little bit, but your legs don't bend. Abs take you up. Feel your heels glide out a little bit. So now can you keep those conversations between abs and hips going? And could the legs stay straight? If that doesn't feel at all possible, just let those knees start bending and legs straightening again. No problem. So please find your magical spot here. You're going to go 3 more. Good, good, good. I really love, for those of you I can see, the variety. And notice sometimes when we get tired, we have to go back to another option. Yes, yes. Can you please go 2 more? Because I'm trying to glance at all the boxes. Yes, 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 yes. Good, 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 good. Yeah. And then everybody will come to seated. Oh, that's so, I'm gonna try to resist my urge to unmute you all and have a big theoretical conversation about how all that went. Okay, so I would love for you to get yourself into a comfy position. And today I would love that to be seated. So I want you to come into a seated position, and you are welcome to, go grab a chair, grab a dining chair if you'd rather not sit directly on the floor. But I want your spine to be upright to gravity versus laying down. Okay? So everybody kind of has their different ideas about what is comfortable in those positions. I think and you may want to grab another layer if you can feel you got pretty warm there. Hey, okay. I love these balls so much. Okay. So I want you to bring, and I will point out, I see a couple of you went and sat with your back against the wall. Great idea. So keep that in mind, or sit with your back against a piece of furniture or something. I want you to be able to let your body get heavy and comfortable here, right? So if you have to work really hard to maintain that upright position, it's going to defeat the purpose. Okay, so as long as you can hear me, it's great, right? You don't even need to see me. So you can move to another location. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just take our hands towards our thighs and palms open to the ceiling. And what I want you to do is soften your facial muscles and let your eyes close. And we're just gonna start letting that breath intentionally come in the nose and out the mouth. As you continue to breathe, I would love for you to think of the breath coming in from the base of your body and then traveling up the spine, and the exhale leaves you from the crown of the head. So could we change that around and think inhale from the base of our body, feel our tummy fill, and then feel the lungs fill, and as we exhale, the air shoots out the crown of the head. Inhaling through the nose, that air travels up, 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 and exhale out the crown of the head. One more time, inhale, exhale. It's like a wonderful wave. So now I want you to envision as you inhale into the base of the body, we're going to inhale the color red. So let yourself inhale, picturing how the very lower aspects of our pelvis just have a big, bright red light. And you can exhale and still envision that light right there. Maybe it's like inside our body, we have a stoplight that has multiple colors all stacked on top of each other. We're at the very base and the light is red. So let your breath just start coming to a comfortable, very calming pattern and seeing that bottom light sitting right in the depths of your pelvis, bright red. The next light popping up is orange. So right about at our belly button,
a bright orange light sits inside of our body. Think of breathing in as if you're going to draw more orange light and keep saturating that area, making that color deeper or brighter, however you see it. And the next breath in, I want you to breathe in yellow light. And you're going to draw that light right up and in to sit just beneath your rib cage. Drawing in the yellow light, letting it get more magnificent in color right below the ribs. Next breath in is green. So breathe in that green light and let it come right up into your chest. So that heart chakra, just beaming that green light out into the world. And it starts in you. Next color we'll breathe in is blue, and it's going to come right to our throat. And again, we see that blue light beaming within us and out of us. It is your throat chakra. It's where you speak your truth. And the next light we'll go to is indigo, and it will come right between our brows. Now I want you to let your mind go right to the base of your body, and you're going to picture the red, then the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the indigo, and now white, beaming out the crown of your head. Let's one more time, see it from the base. It's red at the root, orange at the navel, yellow at our solar plexus, green at our heart, blue at our throat, indigo at the third eye, and white beaming from the crown of our head. I want you to take a moment and set an intention for your day, whether it's an action, whether it's just a word of comfort. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Continue to stay in your quiet place if that's what feels great. Maybe you feel super energized and ready to take on something. I look forward to seeing you next time.